Good morning, my friends, and welcome to another episode with me. Today, I'm going to do something I'm going to call personal cake. Personal cake is all about me sharing some of my own journey here and putting it into a series so it's easy to find and organized and things like that. So, today I'm going to be sharing about what I do when facing my fears and dreadful possibilities. Because, well, isn't that the point? That's what we're doing a lot of when we deal with codependency, or we're reaching out into the world and doing things that matter to us. So we'll be doing that today. If you're new to me, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. My name's Burtcher, and I help codependents rediscover their well-being and happiness after narcissistic abuse. And I help them do that by helping them restore their safety, sanity, and self so they can come to know, love, and live who they are, and that helps them create happy, sustainable relationships in their lives. So before we get started with today's personal cake, I need to share this out to the community. The community is a safe haven that I've created here on the internet. Specifically, it's on Facebook, where you can find tools, guidance, and support in your journey beyond codependency, beyond the trauma bond, beyond love addiction, and your journey into self-respect, self-love, self-care, and being who you are, and actually building relationships and a life based on that matters for you. So the link for the community is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. So let me get this shared out here. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below, guys. Let me know your thoughts on what I share here. And all right. So it's good morning. It's nice to see you. So what I do when facing my fears and dreadful possibilities. So, fear. We all have it. It's a principle. It's like an intrinsic part of life. Fear shows up. Dreadful possibilities. They show up, especially for those of us who have lived through actual hell. We've gone through trauma. Our brain's going to be acutely sensitive to dreadful possibilities, because the brain is changed through traumatic events. The neurology is altered, the chemistry is altered, the way the brain interprets experiences is altered through that lens of traumatic experience. And so it becomes attuned to dreadful possibilities, things that wouldn't normally happen but we think might happen. Now that does tend to change and ebb, and resolve over time through proper traumatic healing work, through proper trauma healing work that heals trauma, like EMDR, somatic experiencing, brain spotting, things of that nature. But sometimes, even outside of the world of trauma, we still have something dreadful we need to do. We have something that's scary to us because it's unknown. We have fears that pop up about being rejected, about being isolated, about being replaced, being irrelevant, being harmed, being betrayed. Because we've gone through these things in the past. We've experienced them. And sometimes, especially for those of us that are exiting codependency and we're stepping into our own shoes, so to speak, we're standing on our own 2 feet, our brain can give us a lot of dreadful possibilities about being ourselves that are directly related to how we were treated in the past by other people. See, the feelings that show up in us, the thoughts and fears that emerge as we encounter the unknown, aren't there randomly. They're there because of what we've been through. They're there because of what we've experienced. They're there because of what we've not experienced. They are a product of our journey. They tell the story of our path. They are not a product of who we are. So if you're going through a lot of pain, a lot of despair, like maybe you're going through a breakup or you lost, job loss, some sort of disruption in something critical to you, and you have these huge feelings arising within you. Well, they're there because of, in previous instances, That was your experience. You were not sheltered. You were not given safety. You were not cared and nurtured for, and you were not supported in discovering another option. Those three elements, safety, care, nurture, discovery, are three primary needs that all of us have. We've had them since the day we were born. They're the three needs that parents ought to be meeting in their children to help build what's called secure attachment. So when I encounter my fears, when I encounter my dreadful possibilities, I approach it from a parent to a child perspective and going, what do I need in order to feel safe? What do I need in order to feel comforted and nurtured? And what do I need to feel curious and open to discovery? This allows me to take a leap into that unknown and discover what shows up. Like, for instance, right now I'm running a little promotion. And to be blunt with you guys, promotions scare the living hell out of me. I don't enjoy them. Because I'm really out there, and there's this possibility of criticism and rejection, and I get really... There's parts of me that are still very activated in that, based on my past. I mean, growing up, there was a lot of criticism for me asking for things, for me promoting what I do, for me being proud of what I do, being outspoken. And there's a lot of rejection that occurred with that, and a lot of accusations done with that. And that shaped this energy in me, these feelings, like the dreadful possibility that people will just think I'm garbage or something. I'm sure some people do. I've gotten some of that feedback lately. So, but this key of getting contact with these feelings within me, I allow them to be valid. I endorse them. I'm like, of course I feel this way. We were bullied and criticized growing up for doing our thing. We were made fun of. We were told we were stupid frequently. We were not chosen frequently. We were the last kid on the team kind of thing. We weren't accepted and valued in those areas. So of course I have this dread, because I'm scared I'll be excluded. So I'm scared that belonging will be withdrawn from me and things like that. And that's not what's going on. I mean, the reality is that it's going quite good. But this is how I first respond to these feelings. This provides care and nurture. This provides safety. Those feelings are allowed to take up space. They're allowed to exist. They're allowed to be real. They're allowed to be safe, to be felt and acknowledged. They're allowed to take up, to be present. So that matters. That helps what it does is it allows me to create safety and care and nurture for those emotions as they show up. And that, a lot of times, opens me up to discovery. It opens me up to the willingness to make a leap, to take a risk. And it doesn't do it instantly. Sometimes it takes days or a week or two of just cultivating space, warmth, and validation for what's showing up. This is how I care for myself when these big feelings show up, when the dreadful possibilities show up, things of that nature. It allows me to get in contact with what's going on for me and to respect it and to give it care and love. Because, my friends, our feelings are not our enemy. Our feelings are not working against us. Our feelings are our ally. They're parts of ourself speaking out for guidance, for care, for shelter, for nurture. They are on our side. They show up because parts of us love ourselves and they're just trying to get our attention and say, hey, I've got a need here. So we're going through something that's painful. Rather than pushing away that pain, welcome it in and say, I care about you. I value you. I love you. I'm here for you. And paradoxically, that tends to lower the intensity of the pain. That tends to get us through pain and find more space and more relief with it. Because it brings us comfort. It cares and nurtures for us. It's a very kind and loving way to respond to ourselves. And this is how I handle fears and dreadful possibilities. There's one other thing I do, a couple of other things I do that help take some of the fear off the top of this. The first thing I do is I acknowledge whether or not this has killed me. Now, this doesn't work for everyone, but it's been a profound tool for me. So when I say, but did it kill me? Am I dead? No. I acknowledge that. I'm like, I'm still alive. I got through that previous experience. Now, maybe your fear isn't that it's going to kill you. Maybe it's that it's going to ostracize you. Well, did it ostracize me? Did I lose everything? And sometimes the answer is yeah, because I've gone through that and I've lost everything. And then the next question is, did I survive it? Yeah. Did I rebuild? Yes. Not that I would want to do that again, but I did. I was able to get through it. Now, the probability of having to rebuild again is pretty small because I learned a lot from those experiences that allowed me to create more sustainability. So there's a trick here to that. If we have a dreadful possibility that things will happen again and we'll lose everything, we have to look at what we've gained from the previous experience and learn how to build sustainability from that wisdom so that the probability of losing everything again gets really, really small. I would have to take something catastrophic that would be out of our control, like some sort of natural disaster, to bring that about. And then we can acknowledge that, hey, I can survive this and move forward. That's how I navigate those things. The other thing I do is I accept the result. I accept the consequences that show up, and I allow them to be irrelevant. It's like, okay, well, that shows up, I'll deal with it. I take the significance out of the consequence, out of the result. And I allow myself to go, well, I will deal if that's what reality chooses to be. If that's the outcome, I'll deal with it. This gives me a lot of space to discover, and it gives me a lot of courage to act on, because I've got my back now. I'm not going to abandon myself. I'm not going to condemn or judge myself. I'm going to keep myself despite the outcome, which is what I really often need to hear from myself, is like, I ain't abandoning you. I got you. Whatever happens, ride or die, I've got you. These are ways in which you can use to face your big fears, to face those dreadful possibilities, and come into contact with reality and discovery that you can succeed too. Because you deserve it. You're worthy of it. So, my friends, that's today's episode. Now, if you're looking for assistance in breaking free of codependency, or you want to really know, love, and live who you are, the early bird registration for the Know Yourself strategy is open. And with your enrollment, you get access to my new upcoming course called Relationship Essentials, where I help you create secure attachment, communication that results in comprehension and understanding, and conflict that's both safe and builds intimacy. That's included with that. And if you're a new student, you also get the Heal Yourself strategy with that, because that's a support course to those two courses. So you get a lot of value for one low price. Now, I got 5 days left on the promo. You got to enroll now, because that goes away. The next time enrollment will be open for the Know Yourself strategy. It'll be $12.50 rather than $7.50, and it'll only be for that course. So there you go, my friends. The link is above for that on Facebook, below on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the badass you be. And remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And I will see you guys in our next training video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.